Okay, good morning once again. Today we will look at the computer safety, where we are gonna learn the basics of the computer and how they're supposed to be taken, they're supposed to be handled. So first of all, we'll go to the video so that you at least can watch about the internal devices and the output devices, the internal components of the computer, and all the stuffs about the computer. So taken into this video, then we're gonna proceed.
Hello everyone, let's take a look at what's inside of a computer. Now to start off, computers have changed drastically. What we can see here is this little computer can do everything we see on my desk right now. It can connect to speakers and a monitor, keyboard and mouse, and even a webcam and a microphone. It used to take a room just full of mainframes to do what this little single board computer can do. Also, our computers are drastically changing because now we have integrated computers in smartwatches and even health and fitness trackers. It's astounding where we're at now. So let's talk about what a computer does. The computer is going to take input, and by taking input, it's then going to store it in memory. It'll be processed and then be provided as output. So let's chat about it. We've got these input devices here. I've got a keyboard and a mouse. I've got a microphone. Then I've got output. I've got speakers. Here, I have my monitor. Also, there's another input device sitting right here staring at me. It's my webcam. That's going to take in data as well. So let's change it up and talk about some of the other components in a computer. So those components on the outside got to connect somewhere. So we can take a look at this box. People call it a box. It's a computer case, it's a computer tower, or we just call it the box. When we take a look at the box, you can take a look at the front of our box, and you'll find that we have USB ports to plug in our components on the outside, like keyboard and mice. You got a headphone for a speaker out. You got a microphone in port. You've got this optical drive for those people who still use CDs, which you never know. Now, besides the front of the box, we can take a look at the back of the box. On the back of our box here, we can see a variety of different items. We've got the power supply to plug in the computer case and power everything going on. We've got these adapter cards here that give us extra functionality. One here is for networking and internet. The other one's for display to give us multiple monitors. And besides all that, down below we've got these connectors here that hook to the system board. I've got some for the microphone. I got something for a speaker. For external line in to put those high powered audio and send it into the computer system. I've got multiple display ports here regarding VGA, DVI, some cool ways to output too, again, monitors. Now these things aren't as powerful as this graphics card here. That graphics card there, well, that would be something like this. Something big and beefy to play your games, to do things such as virtual reality and 3D, you name it, that's where that goes. Now, these graphic card ports here, it's built into the motherboard, not as powerful. Down below, I've got 4 USB ports to connect more external devices and components, and I also got a built-in networking jack. Why 2 networking jacks? Because one might be built into the system board, and another one might be awesome for gaming and high performance. Let's take a look at the inside of this case and see what else we have going on here. Let's get inside the box. So we'll take off this side panel here and we'll get into the internals of our computer system. So we take a look at the inside of this computer system. One of the first things we see is this fan here. And this fan is sitting on top of these fins. And these fins have one job: to keep the CPU underneath cool. That CPU is going to be executing instructions and running programs. And that CPU is going to get really hot really fast. That heat's going to go to these fins, and this fan here is going to cool down those fins. Now, what's that CPU doing? Well, as our computer system takes an input, it's going to be taking in information. That information is going to be processed through that CPU, and it's going to be stored in things like this hard drive here, or right here on these memory sticks. So these memory sticks, they're called our RAM. And these RAM sticks here are going to temporarily store data so it can be executed faster by our CPU. When we store data permanently, it'll be put on this hard drive over here, which is a solid state drive. An example of that would be my solid state drive right here. These solid state drives are going to retain data and be able to read and write data very fast. Now, besides that, we have some expansion cards here, and these are going to be our graphics card and that network card we saw earlier. These are in expansion slots, which give us more functionality. It adds more to our system board. Where's the system board? Well, that system board is this entire motherboard down below, which is attached into our computer case. This motherboard is full of different components and capacitors and circuitry. It allows our entire computer system to be able to be sending and receiving data. At the top here, I've got an optical drive. That optical drive uses those old-style CD, DVD discs. Yep, that can temporarily store data on a CD or DVD. Up here, this is our power supply. This is providing power down to all the components within the system, including the main board itself, that system board. This power supply will attach to your wall outlet and give you the power needed to run all of your components inside. Whether you have a small graphics card or you're dropping in the latest and greatest beefy ones in order to run anything.
Okay, you have something like the box supply which contains the high voltage, and some components contain the high voltage even after the print is turned off. We have the AC adapter, which are manufactured for specific functions, and they are always for specific laptops, and exchanging the AC adapters with kutoka kwa one laptop to the other may cause damage to both the AC adapter and sometimes to the laptop as well. So if a fault causes metal parts of the equipment to become live with let's say currents, then the following harmless away. Typically, computer products connect to the ground via the power plug. Large equipment such as the server that houses the network devices must also be connected to the ground. You can see all these pictures and how they are supposed to be connected, and so we'll go straight to the ESD. ESD is the short form of electrostatic discharge, which always occur if there's a buildup of a charge, a static charge that exists on the surface which comes into contact with another. For example, you are walking on the carpet and at times you see some of the fireflies. Okay, so ESD can cause damage to the computer equipment if not discharged accordingly. And handling guidelines is supposed to be followed. You're supposed to be aware of environmental issues and use equipment that stabilize power to prevent equipment damage and data loss. At least these vaults, for I think even 4,000, to be sincere, of static must be built up before a person can feel the ESD. For example, static electricity can build up on you as you walk on the carpet, as they always given that example before. So when you touch another person, you both receive a shock. If the discharge causes pain or makes a noise, the charge was more about even 10,000 volts as compared to the 30 volts of the static electricity, which can cause damage to a computer component. So static buildup can be discharged by touching another object that's connected to the ground. This is known as self grounding. So ESD can cause permanent damage to the components, and we are supposed to follow this recommendation to prevent ESD damage. First one, we are supposed to keep all components in a static bag until you are able to install them. The second one, we are supposed to use these objects on the mat or workbenches. The third one, we are supposed to ground the floor mats in the work we're supposed to work. The fourth one, we use anti-static wrists when working inside the computer. So for example, you will see about this one here. I think this one is the motherboard itself, and what we're gonna do next, we will check the understanding of the ESD features. Maybe you will understand this is a buildup of an electrostatic charge that exists on the surface, which comes into contact with another surface with wenye kona charge tofauti. So another thing about the USA, it should be attached to you when working inside the computers. I think you will dig deep into this so that you will check about your inner understanding about the topic. It takes this time, how many volts actually to damage the computer components. I would like to hear your answers in the comment section. It takes how many volts for a person to feel electrostatic damage? And you'll submit your work in the comment section.